Yes, I heard the word anemic when it comes to corporate India, but the kind of strides that we have really taken in the last few years, and especially with a startup representation over here, we cannot really say that entrepreneurship or corporate India or manufacturing anywhere has been anemic. But when we talk about the last few months, the way the uncertainty has really dissipated when it comes to the US trade deal, which, come on, we have to accept, it's our biggest lucrative market. And on the other hand, the government worked, while that uncertainty persisted, government really worked on the second strategy, which is opening the other markets, and that's where the EU FTA along with several others really opened up. And in the middle, the budget also planned for, if nothing works out, we have self-reliance in manufacturing. So that's how I will sum this inflection point, but the biggest tipping point for Indian manufacturing and Indian promoters and Indian entrepreneurs is the opening up of the US market, and therefore the tariffs being competitive from being one of the most punished nations when it comes to the US tariff, we have become the most favored one, and that's coming in as a very big news. From the manufacturing space, we have great representation in Maruti, exporting for several years, a large manufacturer leading from the front when it comes to our global roadmap. So Rahul, when we talk about the manufacturing thrust of India, this US trade deal, what does it mean for the manufacturers and also opening up the most lucrative market much more for us?
I think, as you rightly said, the US trade deal, one, of course, will put a lot of uncertainty to rest, and a lot of apprehensions about very penal kind of tariffs on some of our sectors. Since I come from the auto sector, I particularly know that auto component sector was up against a wall. They had to face something like a 50% tariff, which is just impossible to penetrate. So across sectors, I think it will open up a big opportunity for exports. From whatever we are hearing, whatever little details have come out this morning, we don't think there are many areas of sensitivity where there are much concerns. And though the details are still coming, but if I take an example from the EU FTA, India-EU FTA, I must compliment the government wherever we had sensitivities on the domestic front and wherever we had export interest, they have balanced it extremely well. All the areas of sensitivity have been taken care of really well. There has been a very calibrated approach in opening up relevant sections and being sure that when you go into granularity, some sub-segments have been taken care of, some sub-segments have been encouraged while participating in the global stage. So I think it's a big step forward for India. The other big advantage is at a time when geopolitical, kind of tensions, export restrictions are there, it opens up an avenue. So India is not now delinked from many large parts of the world. It's connected.
Yes.
That's a big de-risking that is happening.
All right, so very encouraging words and steps being taken by the government. But I have a few difficult questions to ask you, which I'll come to next. But Rajesh, MSME has been given special prominence in what Piyush Goyal just now also enumerated. Besides agriculture, a $30 trillion opportunity for the MSME sector. You are at the last mile of connectivity as an NBFC, providing the much needed credit for the MSME sector. How can they capitalize on this opportunity?
So I think we all know that MSME is contributing close to 30% in manufacturing and also about 45% in the export. So they are a very important pillar. Now, if the budget and the government is focusing more on the infrastructure spending, manufacturing and service sector, all these sectors are ultimately going to boost the MSME sector on ground. And the more demand will create more demand for the credit. And I think as an NBFC, the sector is going to help meet them last mile connectivity where formal banking system is not able to meet their demand because they are not that well organized in terms of offering paperwork and meeting the complex credit requirement. So I think this MSME sector now, even the larger corporates is building in their ecosystem. The MSME is their effective, lot of process and lot of assembling work and other features doing. So they are no more just a vendor, but they are becoming the important ecosystem of the entire manufacturing hub. And being the more demand rise, more expansion will happen, the more credit demand will happen. And I think NBFC are poised to meet that demand. Recent RBI focus and even the mentioning of NBFC in the Honorable Finance Minister budget that NBFC is going to play a role, that clearly bring a focus that NBFC are going to play important role, and we are glad that now everybody, including government and RBI, is recognizing that. That's is going to help us.
That's right. NBFC is the lifeline of the growing MSME sector. Credit is one of the biggest challenges that they face, and we'll talk more about that. But Yashish is here to really be the representative of the entire startup ecosystem, which has created a huge pocket in corporate India and added heft to our from the India Inc. perspective. Yashish, is that a sigh of relief, which not many people now talk about right now, but US trade deal being signed also really projects the better relations with US, and now it's really aligning, both these countries are really aligning. Isn't that a relief coming in for the startup ecosystem, which is so heavily dependent on also the funding from the venture capitalists and the market that really understands this space so well?
So I think, yes, number one, but more than a sigh of relief, it's an opportunity. And I mean that not just from a US-India trade pact, but the the India-EU trade pact and the India-UK trade pact.
Right.
See, we have to understand one very simple thing. Along with the Silicon Valley and maybe some parts of China, India has the most advanced consumer tech market in the world, along with them, right? I have zero doubt in saying we are the most advanced insurance player in the world. Zero doubt. Zero doubt. Now, why do just Google, Facebook, and Amazon have to be here? Why are we not dealing with consumers in Europe or the US and bringing the intellectual property here and the eventual monies here?
Yes.
Right? And I think that is something that requires maybe a little more focus. Let's understand, yes, they have smaller populations, but they still have richer populations, and those are the spending consumers in the world. Even today, those markets are 15, 20 times bigger than ours. And as we focus here, we should also keep that focus to develop our capability and talent set. And that is somehow, if you build that as a brand, that is usually more resilient than the services business, where all you are doing is you're servicing somebody who's servicing customers there. But if you're the person serving customers there, that is far more resilient. We are ready, as are so many others. I think if I really talk about it, Lenskart today has 40% of its revenues from abroad.
Yes.
We've been thinking of going abroad. We are already the market leader. And I think this should be encouraged. It's not just manufacturing.
Yes.
It's our talent, which is coming in from, I would call it consumer technology, which should be encouraged much more. It's not just for India. It can be for, it is now time for it to be for the world. And the reason I say sigh of relief, since you asked, see, as we do these trade deals, we all become friendly in trade with each other. Yes. So those regulators will also accept us much more. If the UK financial services wants to be here, then why doesn't our financial services want to be there?
So,
I'll try to stop there, yeah.
Yes, so that's a cue for the government to expand it from manufacturing to several other alignments also in the lucrative markets. But now to the question of the auto sector. Now, Rahul, you'll totally agree with me that when it comes to the EU deal, we definitely gave up and compromised on the privileges that the auto sector really enjoyed. Is that a worry for the US deal as well?
Okay, let me. So this was true. Or this was perceived as the truth before the negotiations happened. So the dominant perception was that to secure our export interests for the textile sector in the EU, we will have to give up our domestic market access in auto to the EU. Having said that, after now in hindsight that we see, and many details are out now, I think it has been an excellent win-win deal. Auto has been opened up in a very calibrated manner, in very select segments, sub-segments, and they have also nudged the domestic auto industry to participate more. As far as Maruti was concerned, we were already exporting, we had started exporting even our EVs to Europe. So we are more excited about it because our opportunities will grow.
Yes.
And we see it as an export opportunity. To some extent, I would imagine a gentle nudging out of your comfort zone into participating with global competition is actually healthy. So it's a win-win.
All right, but one more aspect which we definitely have to consider at this point is that the government really took care of all the aspects of the value chain, even to support manufacturing, new age manufacturing and the EV space when it came to the budget. So you have a strong opinion on that as well.
Oh, yes. In fact, some of the very key interventions in the union budget are, the Honorable FM has spoken about some strategic and frontier sectors. Which are those? Semiconductors, electronics, then rare earth magnets, capital goods. Now, these were the pieces which were missing in our larger manufacturing story. And I'm really impressed. They've done a very, very pointed, selected, thoughtful intervention on these specific segments which can provide a major fill-up. So if these, pieces are strengthened, yes, India will be a huge manufacturing powerhouse globally.
With the present era of the tariff war that we have seen, at least one thing everybody has learned, that never give up one of the negotiating power to anybody, rather have all of those chips in your own pocket. Rajesh, when it comes to MSME sector, now enough support has been at least intended by the government in opening the market, as well as the budgetary allocation and the support when it comes to the funding and liquidity aspects of MSME. How do you see the growth that is really taking shape and the kind of quality of risk that is really building from the MSME side? Do they have the kind of support needed to take it to or catapult to another level now?
So if you look at, there are about 34 trillion rupees credit gap exists even today for the MSME sector. So while there is an enhanced focus on using the technology, data science, analytic tool, and the better governance, where the regulator is also focusing, I think if everybody follow those and invest upfront in the technology side, the risk will be taken care of to the great extent. Now it comes out to the capacity building, that how NBFCs and other lenders can build the capacity to meet that credit demand gap and bring the efficiency level. I believe that opening of various other avenues, including bond market where the focus is coming, I think capacity building will take place, and the risk side, more investment in the technology side by the lender will give a immense support to the MSME sector in making those credit available which otherwise they are deprived of.
That's right, more usage of new age technology, and that is also seeping into the new age manufacturing as well. But Yashish, coming from the AI jitters standpoint, Anthropic has caused enough jitters in our market in the recent time. How do you see this AI ecosystem, and how well built is Indian capability to take that leap forward and be ahead in the game?
See, when you talk about AI, the way I see it, it's increasingly becoming a commodity, where and the price of that commodity is going lower and lower. Consumer brands will, in my opinion, like even with AI, somebody has to make money. Yes. Are they going to make subscription money, or are you going to get paid by somebody, right? So I think there is a very clear space for brands to adopt AI and utilize it for their customers, yes, in their limited use cases. And I think that is what will eventually come out. What you will, in my opinion, see is from a consumer's perspective, most people will use. Now, instead of Google, it might be somebody else. But the point is, there will be somebody out there which is the go-to place. That's just the human psychology. We don't have space for 10 different almiras. We go to one almirah for one thing. And out there, you will use AI as a technology, but it's such a commodity. Suppose you build a very good AI tool. Tomorrow, I'll build one better. Day after, he'll build an even better one. And the fourth day, he'll build an even better one.
But we have seen this kind of evolving technology in the past also,
But it'll just
till
bring
it
down the
comes
cost.
to a stabilized level.
Which is basically the cost coming down.
Yes.
Cost will keep coming down
Yes.
to a point where everybody can afford it. My view is today, if I want to use AI to talk to our customers,
Yes.
and one of the things people say is India has not taken on a lot of AI. There's a reason for that. Our cost of a human being today is about 7 rupees a minute. And good AI is 11 rupees a minute. So if you look at the European context out there, the cost is 50 rupees a minute. So the AI is working. When the cost comes to 2 rupees a minute, it will work here also at 11 rupees a minute. Why should I take AI when my employees is better than that? Besides the fact that it's painful to manage employees and it's easier to manage AI.
Yes.
Sorry, just talking in simple terms.
And also adopt the latest technology in AI, probably the way we did in the financial services, where we have the best capability right now in the world. I'm just putting across my point when it comes to the AI discussion.
I think AI is too easy, is all I'm trying to say.
All right. So
It's not hard,
transformative.
it's easy, that's all.
All right, it's transformative. When it comes to the technological use in manufacturing, a large part of customers, investors are now telling me that the next wave of investment is going to be the technologically enabled manufacturing space. How is this leapfrog really taking place, Rahul?
I think that's a very, very valid observation that I agree with. So even when we, for example, design our cars, we have a term called software-defined vehicles. We think of the software first. So, and then we define the vehicle on those lines, and then we develop the car. So there's a lot of electronic controls that go into the car. Most of them are around themes of either powertrain control or infotainment, or cruise control, chassis control, for example. So we have a lot of technology, the new tech that is going into the car. And along with that, many opportunities are opening up in the software space to make the best out of that. Apps, for example. So Maruti Suzuki is engaging with many, many startups because we know that these ideas come naturally to them in their kind of context. They are probably better suited for some kind of development. So we have a program where we are engaging with startups. I think we've 6,500 startups we've engaged with. Many of them we've onboarded. Many of them we've given free proofs of concept. And many of them are partners. I think almost 30, 40 of them are partners today to Maruti Suzuki. And we have the humility and the curiosity to learn from them. So you're absolutely right. The new age manufacturing is about tech and about knowledge. And it's not just in the products, it's in our factories also. Our newer factories are Industry 4.0, or even they have many features of Industry 5.0. So I'll give you a small example. The sequence in which we make models in our line, because we make models for hundreds of countries with variant specs, there are about 600 variants of them. The parts that are coming from the suppliers are coming in the same sequence as in which we are, and that supplier is situated cities away. So hundreds of kilometers away, the parts are coming in the same sequence as I'm feeding my assembly line. That is the level of technology that we have reached. So, and in other aspects like safety, for example, it can be leveraged big time.
All right, so this is a very big evolution really taking place. Final word to you, Yashish. on innovation, on startup development, what more needs to be done. I know this budget didn't have enough for you, and the trade deal does not give you the benefit, but at least the alignment and opening of lucrative markets is really taking place.
No, I think the trade deal does give us the benefit very clearly, because what the trade deal does is opens up the thought processes of those countries. So when I talk about us, whether we are in the EU or in the UK, those countries are more accepting of the ones who signed the trade deals with them when their own trade deals were. See, this was going on globally.
Yes.
The EU was facing pressure from the US while India was having and they both signed the deal. So both have goodwill for each other to some extent.
Yes.
And in a way, both of them have in a way got the US to sign.
But I must also put this out, Yashish, that your startup universe has given a huge amount of return benefit to the US investors who came in and supported the companies. And therefore, it has become the best IPO destination for most of the venture capitalists. And that's what we have already provided to US as a benefit of the Indian economy. And that's something that they cannot really deny.
I think we have to think of it, by the way, I think, yes, even today, someone like us would have about 30% shareholding from the US. Or US entities, maybe they're coming through Singapore, but they're still US, but that's 30%.
Right.
We are more than 50% domestically held.
Yes.
These are domestic mutual funds. So actually, you'll be surprised, the biggest investors today in the...
They have fueled this.
They are, however, please don't see this as a money return business. 23,000 people are employed. This is no longer low employment, just our organization.
Of course.
Right? When you look at the others, if you look at the startup ecosystem, probably hundreds of thousands of jobs have been created.
Of course.
Because of which, the entire economy benefits.
So the growth capital is for the growth of the economy, Yashish.
And
so
more
that
importantly, importantly, high-end jobs are here. See, because assume policy was run by Google, then I would be sitting in the US. The point is, it's the fact that our headquarters is here. That the main CTO, CEO, CFO, CPO, everybody sits here.
Right. So this debate for another day, but thank you so much, Rajesh, Rahul, Yashish, for really emphatically sharing your expertise and your insights on this discussion. Thank you for such a patient audience as well. Thank you.